Hi, it's Leslie Meredith with Breakbulk Events and Media. I have another one of our Game Changers panelists in the studio, Eliska Mundell from Emirates Sky Cargo. Welcome.
Thank you very much. So nice.
And yes, so great, and welcome back to the studio.
Yes, thank you. Good to be back again.
All right, so tell me what your role was on the panel. What was the perspective that you wanted to get across in this topic of game changers?
Well, I was speaking really from the air carrier side. So we have a niche part in this industry, particularly in relation to EPCs. A lot of their cargo and volumes they're moving could be outsized, could be heavy oil and gas equipment. So most of it will move by sea, but there is a requirement sometimes if there's a short notice period on the project or a delay that they might use air freight. And from what I'm understanding is something they're looking at more and more because the timelines are being reduced for some of the projects. So if they're forced to get something moved quicker, they're going to have to use air freight. So that's where we will come in, either on a scheduled freighter or passenger flights, or it could be on a dedicated part or full charter.
Wow. All right. So what? How big of cargoes can you carry?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. But we operate one type of aircraft in the freighter, which is the 777 freighter. It carries in the region of about 100 tons. Now, it's slightly less dimension-wise than a 747. However, a phenomenally good long-range aircraft for large pieces. And we can carry anything up to 20 tons plus, single pieces. So we can move some pretty large pieces on the aircraft if it's obviously prepared properly, packed, and loaded correctly.
Interesting. So, dare I ask, but one thing I have heard is that with the coronavirus panic, that air cargo may be in more demand.
Well, this is what we're looking at. There's obviously been a restriction for us, so with our passenger flights have been stopped, apart from to Beijing. We've lost cargo capacity out of China. We have our freighters operating pretty much as normal, but there's obviously a reduction in demand. The factories, everything was kept closed after the Chinese New Year. So when they're starting to open up now and over the next few weeks, there would be an increase in demand. And specifically for the supply chains where they've got to be, if they're in vehicle production, or oil and gas or anything on any project wise and it's needed there urgently, they're going to want to move it by air. So it's an unknown factor at the moment, but we're expecting there to be a rush of air freight coming out of China and Hong Kong as well, hopefully, that we will see. But obviously it all depends on what happens going forward.
Right, exactly. It seems to be changing by the hour.
Exactly. Well, every day there's a new report, countries, restrictions being shut down. We've seen a lot today with the Gulf, with Bahrain. Now we've stopped flying to Iran now. So there are a lot of restrictions and a lot of challenges for us. So we have to wait and see, really.
Yeah, absolutely. It strikes me that you have a really good and flexible attitude about this. What advice might you give your industry colleagues on how to weather this challenge along with others?
Well, that's a difficult one. Look, it's a case of, monitoring the situation really. And for us as a carrier, look, we can stop our aircraft, we can park them up for whatever is required, or we reroute them onto different routings depending on where the need is. We have a lot of flexibility, and that's the key word here. We can move our flight schedules around, we can reroute our aircraft, we can add in additional stops, and that's the key to it now, is to be adaptable and actually see where the demand is. Where do the customers need the volumes, need the cargo, and then we reroute the aircraft to do that. So I would say flexibility, being adaptable, and being very proactive to do that now, because there's lots of opportunities in the market potentially coming up. So we need to take advantage of them as and when we can, because we don't know how long this is going to go on for.
Absolutely. All right. Well, excellent perspective, and thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you very much.